Greetings, people on the YouTube, people around the YouTube, people inside the YouTube. It's Multiplier here with a video all about an update for Serum. And so, what are these extra features? First of all, the one that everyone's been talking about, 8 LFOs. Wowzers trousers, who needs 8 LFOs? Almost nobody, but you know what, some people like them, and very occasionally you do need more than 4. So Steve Duda, Stevie as I call him, Stevie, he introduced 8 LFOs in a clever way, and that's what I love about Serum. All these extra advanced features are introduced in a non-distracting way. So check this out. You're probably looking at Serum, you're like, I've updated Serum. Where are these extra LFOs? They're not there. 1, 2, 3, 4. But wait, check this out. Once you actually use 4 LFOs, let's say you do something logical like just assign them to random things, because that's sensible, don't do that really. Check this out. Look at that, there's a new one, and if I assign that, crikey, another one appears, and then if I assign that to something, wowzers trousers, another one appears. If I assign that, what's that, a spooky ghost? The spooky ghost must have added the additional LFO. That's what's going on, and just like that, you have 8 LFOs. Really cool, classic Stevie introducing a new advanced feature without being distracting. Because I tell you what, if there was, say, 8 LFOs as standard, with just numbers like that, it would look stupid, it would look confusing, and to be honest, most of the time, you don't actually need more than 4 LFOs. If you're using more than 4 LFOs, think really hard, do I need more than 4? Because that is... 4's a lot. I mean, it's 2 more than 2. But if we get serious for a second, more than 4 LFOs in most situations just results in a messy sound. You don't want lots of different modulations all happening at the same time if those modulations are going to be distracting each other from each other. And it's going to be a mess, it's going to be confusing. It's almost like if you try and hook up with 5 people at the same time, it's just not a good idea. I don't recommend it. However, the reason why I think it's a good idea to introduce these LFOs is when you start using LFOs in a non-traditional way. So normally you think of an LFO as doing some sort of that thing, or doing some sort of that, or doing some sort of that. Whatever it is, your LFO can do almost anything, but normally it's looping through something. However, the LFOs in Serum do a lot more than that. You can use them as envelopes, you can use them as ramps or arpeggiators or step sequences. Whatever it is you want to do, you can probably do that modulation using an LFO, and therefore some situations I can foresee using more than 4, but not many. As a general rule, try not to overcomplicate your sounds. It's a mistake I see lots of people doing, including some of the biggest guys in the industry. In fact, you know what? Let me give you an example where you might need 5 LFOs, but you know what? To mix things up, because I'm a maverick pioneering in the YouTube space, I'm not going to show you the example using Serum and showing you what it sounds like. Instead, I'm going to demonstrate this concept in the form of interpretive dance. So LFO 1 could be doing a massive modulation like this, over and over again, just keeps going like that over and over again. That's cool, that's your modulation. LFO 2 could be doing a faster, less obvious modulation, maybe on pitch. It could be doing a bit of that. So LFO 1, remember, is your main modulation. It's big, it's obvious, that's what you're hearing. LFO 2 is doing a bit of vibrato style modulation, a little wobble, a bit faster, amplitude not as much. LFO 3 could be doing your modulation but over a long period of time, giving it some evolution, so it could be all like, or maybe a bit slower, like that. That is your LFO 3. LFO 4 could be an envelope, so you'd kick it into ENV mode, and that could define your attack portion of the sound. So maybe the attack, the first bit of your amazing noise goes like that. So envelope 4 is an envelope, so it doesn't loop through, it doesn't repeat, it just goes like that. Makes sense? But then you're like, oh no, I need one more modulation. That's where LFO 5 comes into the equation, where you might set it up to be a long ramp over, say, 16 bars. You could set up a LFO 5 to be a ramp over, kick it into trigger mode, BPM mode is on, and then, yeah, you could set a rate of, say, 16 or 32 bars. Therefore, your sound is evolving, or something about your sound is changing over 16 bars in a straight way. So this would be more like for 16 bars. Makes sense? Was that the first time you've ever seen a Serum demonstration, a Serum tutorial in the form of interpretive dance? Yes, it was. It was fantastic. Let me show you the other new feature. And so the other new feature that's getting me excited is the noise oscillator. Since pretty much day one, in fact, I think definitely since day one, you could import your own noises into Serum and play them back as a sample in the noise oscillator. And that was cool. However, if you imported your own noise sample into the noise oscillator, it wasn't saved as part of the preset, so you had to get really creative and finicky with your file management to make sure that if you say send your preset to somebody else, or I don't know, move your preset somewhere else on your computer, that you moved it about correctly. And there was just a mismatch between the noise sample and the preset. Therefore, you could come back to say, I don't know, your preset in 4 months' time, and then because you'd moved the initial source file around, then the preset couldn't find the new thing. It was a headache, but now it's a million times easier. So you can ignore all the nuanced subtlety of file management with noise oscillator stuff that used to be the case. Now all you have to do is, well, check this out. It's nice and simple. You need to drag the noise sample, or basically any WAV file, maybe MP3 or AIFF as well. I don't know, just drag a WAV, say, into the noise oscillator. I'll show you now. So I've got this amazing folder of Gold Baby Dirt and Layers one-shots, drum layering tools, basically. So I've got these amazing little Foley sounds. Then what I can do is, let's say I want to layer up the sound of a footstep gravel one. Let's say I want to layer up a footstep gravel one on top of my dope bass preset. It's nice and easy. Check this out. What you do is drag the sample into the noise oscillator after turning it on. Make sure you do that first, actually. Newbie, rookie mistake. So drag it out, and also notice what happens to the color behind the text. Did you see that? It went very slightly blue, and that's important. That means the WAV file is now going to be saved into the actual preset, which is really cool. That means if you save your preset and then move it about on your computer, or delete this original source file, that's all fine. You can even send your preset to your homies, the honeys even, and the WAV file is included in the preset, so there's no issues of file management. It all works now. And that's amazing. I love it. So yeah, in fact, there's also another little bonus thing you can do. If, say, you have a folder full of amazing little noises like I do here, once you load one of them up, check this out as a nice little bonus. It moves through. Wowzers trousers. Is that a spooky ghost? In fact, I should show you what they sound like just for fun. Oh, no, turn off oscillator A. Turn up the level of the noise. Key tracking is not turned on, so it's the same playback speed no matter where I am on the keyboard at the moment. How cool is that? And I'm sure you can see the power of that. You can have sample packs full of cool little noises, drag one into there and just keep hitting right or left. You can decide that over and over again until, yeah, your sound is perfect. So you can layer up these nice little noises and ting over the tops of your sounds. Really cool stuff. And as I say, really importantly, this will be saved into your preset. So when you do the normal file save, or just hit the little save floppy disk icon, I don't need to save it now. But yes, believe me, trust the multiplier, that when you save this new preset with that interesting little WAV file, the WAV file is included in the preset. And that is coolies. Oh yeah, and that is another multiplier video full of information and interpretive dances related to Serum. Till next time.